Hi, I'm your Nostalgia Chick, and today I'm going to share with you a cherished tradition in my extended family. Of course, it involves the copious consumption of alcohol, but more than that, it is a bonding process. We call it the Hercules drinking game. The basis of this drinking game is to identify the formulas used in storytelling of this movie. Basically, you take a drink every time you identify certain specific trends, and by the end of the movie, you'll be so schnockered you won't even remember your first name.
You know, I gotta admit, I've been a little obsessed with this movie for years. Not because it's good, per se, but more because it's such an epic, confused, heartless mess. Yes, I know, lots of people like this movie, but I find that even more people don't. And for the most part, not only do they not remember the movie very well, they can't really nail down the reason why they didn't particularly like it. But after obsessing over this movie for years on end, I think I might have finally come to an articulation of that eponymous why. And through an elaborate series of grunts and whines, I will attempt to share it with you.
My little Hercules.
Honestly, I think my fixation on this movie stems from the fact that it could have actually been really good. It could have struck an Emperor's New Groove style balance of history, silliness, and sincerity. But instead, while on some levels it's really innovative for a Disney movie, primarily its visual style, it feels pretty flat.
So you wanna be a hero, kid? Well, whoop-de-doo.
First, the music sucks. With the exception of this one song. This one's okay.
No chance, no way, I won't say it, no, no.
Like seriously, whose bright idea was it for the main musical motif to be gospel choir? This adds to the tonal weird a lot. I mean, the idea of the muses was cool, and Disney went and added their first actually black animated characters. Maybe not the most sense-making choice of a movie, but fine. But Christian gospel?
That's the gospel truth.
It might have been cool to have a sort of Motown motif to juxtapose to the ancient Greece, or maybe like an old New Orleans jazz swing type thing if they wanted to make it a little less, well, white. But from an aesthetic and thematic standpoint, I don't see what they were getting at with the gospel, especially since we kind of bounce between that and the more Motownish only good song in the movie, and of course our pop ballad I Want song.
I have often dreamed of a far off.
The biggest problem is, of course, the plot. And to everyone who wants to go bitch about how it's not accurate to Greek mythology, I kindly request that you go stuff a ball gag in your mouth and sit in the corner. Of course it's going to differ from the source material. It's a kid's movie. We can't show Zeus boning anything with a hole in it as Hercules' noble beginnings. That's not the problem. The problem is that the real source material has been done to death. And by that, of course, I mean Superman and Rocky. In the original myth, Hercules did indeed have to do a bunch of labors in order to atone for his sins.
Meg, I would never, ever hurt you.
And
In this movie, the labors take the form of heroic deeds that he has to do in order to regain his place as a god on Olympus. But the structure and form of the movie itself is based off of a sort of weird hybrid of Superman and Rocky. During the training montage, I'm a little surprised he didn't run up a big flight of stairs. And that, I think, is our primary problem here. Hercules is just not a very compelling character.
That boy is a menace.
He's too dangerous to be around normal people.
He's like a puppy. We're meant to be endeared by his simpleness.
But I'm different than those other guys, Phil. I can go the distance.
I just sang a song about going the distance.
People are gonna get hurt, aren't they?
Mongo only pawn in game of life.
Then you have our bad guys, including the most morally ambiguous main character in all of Disneydom, and a girl to boot. This is Meg, who has a rather unique design and an interesting personality.
well, you know how men are. They think no means yes, and get lost means take me, I'm yours. Don't worry, Shorty here can explain it to you.
She actually starts as a minion to the bad guy, and she has emotional baggage.
You sold your soul to me to save your boyfriend's life. Then how does this creep thank you? By running off with some babe. He hurt you.
Movie also has one of the best bad guys in all of Disney villaindom.
How are things in the underworld?
Well, they're just fine. You know, a little dark, a little gloomy, and as always, hey, full of dead people. What are you gonna do?
He schmoozes, he's a lot smarter than any of the good guys, and he's just fun to watch. Like seriously, at the end of the movie when he tries to take over Olympus, you kinda want him to win.
Susie, I'm home!
The good guys are pretty insufferable, especially Zeus. Rip-Torn Zeus sounds like John Goodman is talking through cotton balls.
Oh, Hades! You finally made it. How are things in the underworld?
I mean, Hercules has a doggy tag on him when he's born. Was that in case Zeus forgot his name? Hades even kind of acts the parts of Meg's bitchy gay boyfriend at some points.
I can't believe you're getting so worked up about some guy.
This one is different. He's honest and he's sweet.
Please.
He would never do anything to hurt me.
He's a guy.
Probably because he's really not that bad of a guy. I mean, it's not really a problem when your bad guys are more compelling than your good guys. The problem is that the good guys are just so dull. It's kind of telling when his I Want song is not about how he wants to help people, but how he wants to be adulated.
Where the crowds will cheer when they see my face.
But the really ironic thing comes at the end, when Hercules and Hades make a deal.
You like making deals. Take me in Meg's place.
You can't be alive. You'd have to be a god?
Or just God. The thing about Hades is when he makes his deals, he actually keeps them.
Meg, babe, a deal's a deal. You're off the hook.
Guess who doesn't hold up their end of the bargain at the end of the movie?
Stop. You can't do this to me. You can't. Okay, well, I deserve that.
Yeah, punch a guy when he's begging for mercy. Our hero.
That said, Hades is not at all without his problems as a character, especially as it pertains to how we keep that darn plot moving.
Hades' pink bottle of death.
So, first you gotta turn the little sunspot mortal.
Where did you get that? I said, where did you get that? What is that? Why is there a limited quantity of it? Why have you been hoarding this thing that could have killed your hated enemy at any time? What is this room of god death bottle pink juice? Oh, maybe that's Hades' plot device room. So when Hades' evil minions feed Hercules the pink bottle juice death pink, apparently it makes him mortal. This of course leads to an even bigger plot hole in the form of Hercules' whereabouts for those 18-odd years.
So you took care of him, huh? Dead as a doornail. Weren't those your exact words?
What? Why did you not make sure your minions got the job done? I mean, you seem like kind of a smart guy. And wait, you're the Lord of the Dead.
Name is Hades, Lord of the Dead. Hi, how you doing?
How did you not know that Hercules wasn't dead? Is that not your job? Have you not been doing it for the last 18 years? Wouldn't you want to gloat on a job well done? And finally, though it's not stated in the movie, Hades is Zeus's brother. It seems like they see each other all the time. Do they not talk about the fact that Zeus's son had been taken from them and was now living among the mortals? Did no one ever question him? No one ever told Hades this? Does he not read the papers? Anyone?
Hercules, if you can prove yourself a true hero on Earth, your godhood will be restored.
Who the fuck wrote that rule? That doesn't make any sense. By that logic... No, fuck it.
And then there's the damn ticking clock that they keep reminding us of.
So when the planets align, they will create a tornado of doom that shoots down into the ocean where the Titans are, still in captivity. And all Hades does is this.
Destroy him!
So it seems to me that the water was the only problem here. Hades just needed the water out of the way. Did you really need to wait for the planets to align for that? Hey. Hey, movie! Movie! Where are you going? Come back, plot! Listen to me! Why isn't anyone listening to me? And where was Poseidon for this? Maybe he was drinking a martini. Then there's those fates.
We know everything!
This is the problem with having any sort of omniscient characters. You see everything, huh?
What's the matter with these scissors? The thread won't cut!
Well, apparently you didn't see that one coming. Oh yeah, and let's talk about that whole takeover of Olympus thing. Hades uses a grand total of 5 titans, which according to the muses at the beginning of the movie, Zeus conquered by himself. And now he and a whole host of gods can't do anything except bow down and get captured.
Everyone's been captured. I've been captured. Hey, what's the glass?
Hades' 2 imps were all it took to take down Hermes. Some god. By the way, I love that his voice actor is Paul Schaefer from Letterman. It's Little FYI. So all the gods are in change, and it looks like all hope is lost until Hercules shows up and breaks those chains, and they just disintegrate. And that seems to be pretty much it. He seems to be doing okay, even without Hercules. That's Zeus. Guess all the gods needed was moral support.
And I dearly hope all my years of hard work and bitching has paid off. And now we can finally proceed on to that Hercules drinking game. The first part of it applied to the tropes that affect all Disney movies. At least the ones that were made after 1989.
I am on my way. I can go the distance.
Someone talks or sings about what they want. Jim Cummings, the voice actor, rears his ugly head.
Step aside, two legs.
Sidekick laughs at a bad guy. Bad guy goes, "What?" Butt humor.
Nella, I think maybe you want a smaller glass. This is kind of intense. No, I got this. Don't worry. Two hollow legs. I got two hollow legs. It's gonna be fun.
Shooting star. Outside Disney movie reference. Lighting change to affect dramaticness. And of course, puns.
I mean, you look like a fate worse than death.
Now, since Hercules is extra formulaic, it gets its very own drinking game. In addition to the aforementioned sips, you take a sip every time that they show those planets aligning. Take an extra sip if there's a dramatic chord to go with it. Hades flames up.
No, I know. I got it.
Term wonder anything applied to Hercules.
Is Wonder Boy here for real?
Hercules does something klutzy. Anyone says a Yiddish word.
But that flesh slug in the heel is!
Bill confuses his word count.
2 words. I am retired.
Nonsensical plot hole.
Meg!
Take an extra sip for that one. Pop culture type anachronism, and of course if the fat muse does something funny.
Honey, you mean Hercules!
For your Greek mythology nerds, feel free to take a drink whenever an actual labor of Hercules is referenced, or conversely, when the movie is categorically wrong, mythologically speaking.
Hercules! Behave yourself.
You want to take 3 good sips for every time Hercules deepens his voice to sound heroic and manly.
Ma'am, I'm afraid you may be too close to the situation to
When a montage happens, and this happens a lot in this movie, and of course, really noticeable continuity errors. And finally, finish your drink in the event of a dramatic NO! And should the plot explode, yeah, go ahead and finish it.
What happened? Is that... We weren't wearing lipstick last night. What the... What? Is that a tribble? It's a bunny. What? There are more bunnies. How did she get upside down like that? Who's that guy?
You guys are hot.
Good morning, starshine. The earth says hello.
They're gonna be so pretty when they wake up.